All right, guys. I heard this term a lot. I think Puru also said on defining and redefining. I think quite a few of you guys use this term when you were speaking. And the third topic also lands up on the same thing, which is redefining retail. So as Cora put it forward, she said social intelligence, emotional intelligence. There's something which is also there right now, which is called artificial intelligence. So there is an option, either you are naturally stupid or you are artificial intelligent. So please make a choice. This is very important for you guys. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, redefining retail, tech, trends and transformations in the Indian marketplace. I already have your team which is starting work. So Puneet and Neeraj, you could start off work at your end, maybe another 15 odd minutes. I think since morning you might be discussing on the same thing. So just give me 15 minutes to wrap up, and other tables also. If you have anything radically different, please do voice. I could hear a lot of buzz happening on this table. I'm sure you have something to share, so I will give you a chance to do so. So everyone gets to play a role. So now I can see students sneaking out since 2 classes are over, so I think they need a little break, but let the conversations continue, but please let's see that we close on time and you all get back to your workplaces on time. It's almost 12:15 now, so 12:30. Another 15 minutes and we should start the awards.
Time, so we'll try to make this fast. Introducing myself, I'm Neeraj Jaipuria, founder, CEO at BI Retail. We are basically a retail-focused data analytics company. So much about myself. I'll let Puneet introduce him first, and then we'll...
Hi everyone, I'm Puneet Mansukhani. I'm a partner with KPMG. I globally lead technology for retail. Working very closely with a lot of the large retailers in helping them build their transformation roadmaps. Pretty close to customer efficiency and making sure things are very simple. So I think that's the forte which we try to reach towards. I think I'll give it back and we'll see how we have structured our conversation. A lot of inputs expected, invited.
Thanks, Puneet. So what we're doing is we're talking about redefining retail through technology, right, in short. So the way I'm going to approach this, I'd say we are going to approach this, is talk about a few technologies that are overflowing from what we've seen over the last 1 or 2 years, and then go into futuristic technologies that we see are likely to change the potential of retail. Starting with existing technologies, I think everybody talks about data analytics, right? So data analytics is here to stay. I have a lot to talk about data analytics. I've been doing data analytics specifically for retail for the last 17 years now, and there's a huge transformation, but not going to talk about that. Advances in data analytics, 2 terms that people use interchangeably and sometimes mistakenly as well, is AI and ML. So we're going to try and break AI and ML separately. The reason I'm going to take ML before AI, because there are more practical and known use cases about ML and in retail, and then we'll talk about how AI can further augment that. So ML, everybody agrees, machine learning, the basics of data analytics is all done and dusted with. Anybody today who's not looking at reports and dashboards, I think really needs to relook at running retail. But a lot of us have already started bringing in ML models, analytics into it. So what we all have to look at doing as retailers, in my opinion, with machine learning and with analytics is be focused about solving a problem. I always tell everybody that dashboards and reports solves nobody's problems. It's good to look at eye candy, but hey, listen, that's not going to get you anywhere. You look at data because by spending your time on data, you should look at making your business better. So ML helps there because you've got to move from what they say, discovering what happened, to actually deciding why it happened, and then finding out what should I do to solve a problem that has come up through my dashboard or through my report. So move from what is called reactive analytics towards predictive and prescriptive analytics. ML helps a lot in getting to the predictive and prescriptive part. There are practical use cases, people on the table would like to talk about. Agnes, would you like to take up inventory optimization that you spoke about?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Agnes. I'm the founder of brand Demosa. So I am also a tech-savvy founder, been involved in technology advancement. I was part of transformation for large retail before starting my business. With our business, we are a multi-channel retail, and we have data coming from partners, we have data coming from our own channel, e-commerce, marketplace. We always find a challenge to see how do we manage inventory in a simplified way. And we had 5 allocators looking at each and every product, where it's going. And I found it is very mundane, and if that one guy is not there in the store, in the office, that 1 week, there's no action taken. So we kind of worked with the one partner. We created a modeling where what that guy does actually. We try to put everything in system, try the system to learn, and today we have about 750 retail outlets across large format retail. Every inventory is managed automatically, right? From any new product comes in, which store to go, system identifies, okay, this particular product sells only in East, do not send it to any other store. And as Neeraj said, actionable insight. So that's the one word which we work. So what action a buyer merchandise has to take, it will give them not only report, just give, okay, you just need to move this inventory from this store to this store. You have to take action on, you have to mark down these lines. It's going beyond shelf life, you have to discount it so that you don't stuck with inventory. Because this is kind of solved our problem. And I think that's a future for retailers as well. You know, a lot of retailers are actually looking at this process because inventory is the core area in retail, right? That's the biggest cash. Excess is also a problem, low is also a problem. That's why, yeah, correct.
So I think this is a great use case, and this is just one of the use cases where retail uses machine learning very, very effectively. What to buy, when to buy, how much to buy, when you've bought, how to distribute, what to pull back from a store that's not selling, where to send it back. If we are in fashion retail, you know, the whole shebang about, you know, healthy size sets, etc., which is so important. You know, all of that are, you know, very well documented and solved problems in retail. I'll let Puneet talk about, you know, AI next. I think that's the next thing.
Yeah, I think you know, I'll just try to share some experience. So I was attending NRF last month in US, and there are, you know, they end up talking about topics which were passed for the last year, which was ESG, and the next year topic which is supposed to be Gen AI. And then there was a parallel conversation wherein CIOs, CEOs were talking about still no gravity on the data, right? So end of the day, Gen AI is going to sit on top of a data which will then explicit some information which will return into some benefits into your bags. So data still, to me, remains the critical part of making sure that AI runs successfully. But as we move forward, there are components in the business which you can use for Gen AI and AI to get your experience and get a better customer share and the wallet share from the customer. I think a couple of cases which we can discuss on Ace Turtle, which they are trying to do. I think that'll be a good information share. I don't go about sharing that.
Yeah, hi. I'm Bhavin. I am from Ace Turtle, the licensed brand owner for Lee, Wrangler, Toys R Us, Babies R Us, etc. So we see from a Gen AI perspective also, so we use in multiple places, but primarily when we talk about digital is all about right content. So our focus started from a content perspective. We have a very large share on online. Typically our business is a 50% online, 50% offline. So we are very heavy on the content building side. And it was always a challenge for us where, you know, for a different channel, building a different content, because typically there is a plagiarism. If you want to have a right search ranking, search priority, it's better to have a individualized content made for the search engines and made for respective channels like Amazon's, Myntra's and all. And that's where we've seen always that, you know, our average stat to introduce a new product, typically in fashion, you are introducing product again and again and again, okay, was very high. And that's where Gen AI really helped us to turn around this everything in less than 4 hours. So this was really implemented by ensuring that how I use the technology to avoid plagiarism. My own content, but it should not look like a plagiarism. My own content which understands how Myntra searches and how Amazon searches and how Google searches, okay. So we really seen not only the turnaround time change, but we've seen the conversion increasing because of this. We've seen the cost reducing, and we've seen the overall reaction time for me for a new season launch increasing substantially. So that was a one use case, and this more from online. But how GenAI is helping me when I talk about the subject, say redefining retail. So at Ace Turtle, we believe that we don't need though it's a retail, we don't want a retail team. So look at the concept or look at the vision. We say, how can I use the technology to see my store? How can I use the technology to train my employees? How can I use vision analytics to have a real-time triggers, what's going on in which store, and how can I notify exceptions to my central team? Then having a retail team moving from one store to other store to other store. So we use an AI-based camera. We know even today morning, say my store staff is getting a carton on the floor, putting products on the shelf, and forgetting, okay, put that carton back to the back store. My system immediately triggers within 10 minutes. Okay, boss, you have forgotten the carton, go and put it in the back store. Okay, so that operational efficiency, that hygiene, that customer experience with a real-time AI, it definitely helped us a lot to move forward in our overall journey. So there are a lot of use cases we are working on, but these are the few use cases where I personally seen that business has benefited a lot.
Yeah, I think it works very well from a resource augmentation purpose as well. I think you can cut down on your resources in store and use camera very efficiently.
Absolutely, yeah.
Your customers are picking up stuff from one aisle, putting on the other, and that's what the camera recognizes and it triggers a point. So I think that's amazing. Yeah, great stuff.
Thanks.
Just very quickly, how many over here have a question of what is AI and what is ML and what's the difference between AI and ML? Anybody? Just a show of hands. Everybody is clear? Oh, superb. Okay. So I'd just like to narrate an anecdote on this part, right? When you, as a consumer, shop online, right? The moment you land up on on a brand e-com site or even on Amazon, right? From that moment onward, all data of what you do is actually being tracked. We all know that, right? You went to these product listing pages, these detail pages, etc., right? That data is available. Machine learning takes that data to give insights to the brand to say, who's this customer, what you should be selling to him, when you should reach out to him. That is an example of machine learning, right? Now, what is AI in the same context? Consider the same thing in an offline store. When a customer walks into your Timex store today, Deepak, right? You actually have very little data, what I call non-transactional data of a customer walking in and walking out and not doing a transaction. In an offline world, in offline retail, we struggle to capture non-transactional data of customers. So therefore, there's no analytics on that. Now, what we are doing, as another technology initiative, is we are trying to bridge this gap using AI and video analytics. So through, this use case, we are trying to get that non-transactional data captured through video analytics, cameras that are placed in your store, to identify customers who came in, where all did they go, what shelves did they browse, what products did they pick up, and not buy anything and still go out. So the AI part here is using video analytics to generate that data, which then will be used by ML to actually give you insights as a brand owner, right? So very quick on this, we'll move on to the next thing. ONDC is a big thing. Puneet, you want to talk about it?
No, I think I would want Razdan go for it.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yazdan Irani. I'm the business head at Find. We are part of Reliance Industry. Let me tell you, I'm sure omni-channel 8 years back was more of a buzzword, right? And now retailers have implemented, we have a fair bit of understanding. Now when we talk about ONDC, I personally believe still there are gray areas where audience, if I can, my role right now in next 2 minutes will to make you all understand in a very simple terms what ONDC is and what is the future. Okay, when we say about ONDC, it's a open network digital commerce platform. In simple terms, it's a platform which is getting the buyers and sellers together so that the products and services can be sold, which is more inclusive and transparent in nature. As we all know, for brands, retailers, we are selling across various marketplaces. When we talk about ONDC, how it is better, firstly, lesser commission, it is more transparent, and you will be selling across various buyer apps. Let's just understand how this is making it very easy. We as Find have created a seller app. So if you are part of a seller app, you will be listed across all the buyer apps. Anyone who is using ONDC, any buyer apps you know which are in our country, which are active today? Good. So Paytm is there, Magic Pin is there, Craftsvilla is there, Misho is there. So just try to understand the ease of doing business. You come to a seller platform, anyways you are selling on marketplaces, your catalog is handy, your warehouse, store inventory is handy. Publish it from a seller platform to a ONDC platform. I told you the advantages. Let's just understand the scale at which they are operating today. Around 80 million users are active. Okay, as we speak, there are 10 plus buyer apps, 30 plus seller apps, and majority of business, what we see today is mainly coming from the food industry, then by fashion, and then the other industry. But what the horizon the ONDC team has kept here is next 5 years, they want 90 billion users they see will be using the ONDC platform, and 1.2 million sellers will be part of this platform. That's the scale at which we are talking about this platform will be widely used. And moreover, I would like to add, from the e-commerce penetration perspective, which we say it's 8%, with ONDC, this will be growing further to 25%. So that's the scale at which, and the ease of doing business. Okay, if you are anyways present on a dashboard of using an OMS, it's just one more avenue for you to get listed and continue shopping. Yeah.
Correct. So it's got nothing to do with organized and unorganized.
No.
I think you have tons of organized
Definitely.
retailers going on that platform and making use of it. So I mean, it's a win-win situation. See, if I look at the holistic picture, I would really want futuristically you genuinely have a global inventory, right? I would love to see 5 years down the line, Chroma taking an order and Reliance fulfilling it, right? And I hope that comes true. I believe that will come true because the real estate cost in the country is so goddamn expensive that you would not want to open stores every nook and corner. And that's where the power of technology, visibility of inventory assets comes on a single platform, and maybe ONDC can really work that magic around for us.
So I think we want to talk a few about actual tech initiatives. So I think somebody wanted to talk about AR, VR. Yeah, please, Shubham.
Hello everyone, I'm Shubham. I head marketing for Phoenix Market City Malls. So we're just discussing the use cases of AI, AR as well as VR. And I was mentioning that I really love what Lenskart has done for their users. You can actually go on their app and try out various glasses, and then you can easily choose one. Same thing I think someone was mentioning for jewelry as well. So there are many use cases like this. I think brands are already moving towards magic mirrors. They're moving towards other checkout technologies where you don't have to wait in a queue to check out from a store. And this is where I think the future of this technology lies. I mean, if we are able to cut down the time of a customer to having going through an experience of changing 4 to 5 outfits in a trial room while waiting in a queue, if that can be removed with the help of magic mirrors, I think that will bring a great change. Also, one thing that Decathlon has introduced, like you pick up any product and you can do a self-checkout. It is as good as the experience that you get online, because it also has the products that you have picked up last time, and it gives you whether you want to pick up the same product, etc. So I think these integrations and the convenience that we have online, if we are able to bring it offline, I think that will be a game changer going forward.
And I think it's a beautiful example, right? So with KPMG, we've got a lot of experience and tons of customers globally whom we work with in retail. I'll give you one small example, and that's stories which I can tell. One small example wherein a watch retailer who does exclusive high-end watches came to us with a problem saying that, once I sell a Rolex, a customer doesn't come back to me for the next 15 years. What should I do, right? So we thought about building a platform which is about second-hand watches, and that's a big platform, okay, because these watches are like diamonds. They are sold at a certain value. So instead of we selling those watches, we used AR extensively over there, but we also said is we will build stories. Okay, we'll build stories about the persona of an individual who is currently the watch owner, and that's the gentleman over here. So we'll talk about him, that he bought a Rolex when he was a senior manager at a company and now grown to the levels of a CEO, promoter himself, and investor in about 5 companies. So we are selling. Yeah. So that's right. And those are the people actually who are really wanting to be a part of this journey. And they look at the watch through an AR, put it on their wrist, click photographs, decide their buying patterns, but effectively look at this person's growth. And that's how they channelize it. The money, and it's a bidding site, okay? So you bid for that watch, the money comes to the retailer. You as a consumer have the choice to take that money back or use that as an advance for buying the next watch. So I think amazing ways in which you can really work on technology, keep it simple, and still get you want. I mean, loyalty, for example, it's a pretty abused term at this point in time. Everybody has it. It's hygiene, is what we discussed, right? And but for a D2C player, okay, it's something which is very new, okay? And we are working with a manufacturing company who's trying to build loyalty for blue-collared workers. 30,000 of them in the market who are electricians. They are trying to give this app to them who will end up selling their products by putting in basic informations, give them points, and these points are not converted into money. These are social points. Okay, they are actually going to convert that point into an insurance premium, okay, your child's education, your medical support. So that's where they are going towards, and that's what a blue-collared worker wants. They really do not want that 100 rupees coming their way. So I think a lot of innovation, the same concept of loyalty, keep it very simplified, but the outcomes are very diverse.
Puneet, I think everybody wants to put in a word. So Sujoy, maybe starting with you, you can pass the mic around and contribute your tech tidbits.
I'm Sujoy. I head technology at Tim Hortons. I guess, I mean, my context would be more on how do we leverage data for in my context, it being F&B, right? So one of the things that has happened in the last couple of years, not even decades, is the growing consumption in India. And when it comes down to F&B, and when it comes down to cafe, it's the perfect place. I mean, of course, along with consumption, it's a perfect place where cafe gives an opportunity for quick bites, right? Which effectively also means, and with people traveling, which also means that people have a preference, as in they know, cuisine of multiple countries, okay? And not only regional, multiple countries as well. Now, one of the classic problem, which is there in the F&B industry, is how to minimize on wastage, okay? Because that's a classic problem that's there, okay? It has a shelf life. It's a very defined shelf life. It has an impact. How do you, reduce wastage? And that's where, data plays a key role in actually keeping wastage to the minimum, and, you optimize the supply chain bit fairly well there, in terms of, so you are more focused on consumption than on the wastage part of it. And yet one cannot forget that you give the plethora of choices to the customer, okay? So that's one part of it. The next step, and of course that comes with, and I said this next step because this is something that I guess everybody will be grappling with. We all are grappling with, is how do we use the same data for product design? In our case, it would come down to recipe management, right? So that's the next step, and with the amount of data that you have, and Gen AI, so to say, okay, that's another very, very interesting use case that one would be looking at. But I guess these are the two key areas that are definitely relevant for my industry.
All right, gentlemen and ladies here, I think Abhiram, this is going a little.
Just two quick
Sure.
ones. So I just made a point here, and I've just, for the benefit of the entire room, 40% of our population is between 13 to 34. If you add till 45, another 14%. So 54% people are less than 45 in the country. They're consuming data at 16 GB per month, which is higher than China and double of Korea at 8 GB. Now, from what we've been doing currently, we need to change. And how we need to change is, instead of loyalty, and we mentioned that, we need to get into experience and engagement. And at the end of the day, retail अब तक we were looking at value for money, सस्ता सुंदर टिकाऊ, commoditization, कहाँ सबसे सस्ता वहाँ से जाके ले लो या मैं सस्ता हूँ. We'll need to get into experience, and commoditization won't work anymore. That's just that's the transformation we need to make.
Thank you, gentlemen.